Welcome back to another episode of Full Zor, and this is part 2 of building the super computer. And I'm very excited for this one because we will be finishing up just a little bit of the ALU, and we'll finish the second part or the third part of the ALU next week. But this one, we're going to be adding all of our logic functions to our ALU, which will include AND, OR, and XOR. And then next week we'll do the shift because we want to be able to multiply by 2 easily and divide by 2 easily, and we'll add the not input 2 next week. But this one is going to be another good little video about how to make a super 8-bit computer. Continue the series. This is part 2 right here, and we're still in the home setup, but next week we will be back in the college setup. But let's roll the intro, and then we're going to get right into the simulation. So let's get started. Okay, so we're back in the simulation on this part 2 of making a super 8-bit computer. So we're going to go into it. And let's recap a little bit about what we have. So all we have is this 8-bit adder and subtractor, and that's really all we can do. But we did give it some cool output stuff that we can use. So we can overflow. Is it 0? Is it -1? Is A greater than B? Is A less than B? So first things first, I read some of the comments, and we're going to edit a little bit of this. So the 0 tab, we're going to say A equals B for a little bit less confusion, which is essentially the same thing as it's 0. Oh, I pressed quit by accident. So now we're going to add some of the logic elements into it. So we're going to add AND, OR, XOR, and NOT, and those are the things we're going to do. So first we're going to do AND, OR, and XOR because it takes 2 inputs and 1 output, and NOT's only 1 input. So we're going to have to do a little bit of different circuitry for that. But essentially we're just going to take 8 of these. And then we're going to take this little 8 to 1. And then we are going to hook all of them up together, which will take a good bit of time. Okay, so now we just did it all. We're just going to add the 2 basic 8-bit inputs, and then we're going to make a little, I'm going to say multiplexer kind of, but it's really like going to be with tri-state buffers type of circuit, so we can pick and choose which output we actually want to be sent to our output display. And so I'm going to save this chip as the second ALU. Because we need to make a 8-bit tri-state buffer first of all, so we can properly select which output we want to pick from those. And I'll explain how the tri-state buffer works real quick. Cool, I don't know where it is. Oh, it's 3-state buffer. My bad. Okay, so if we put the 2 inputs in the output, just like this, enable and input. So I want you to look at this real quick. The output is completely black. So this is neither a 1 or a 0. It's nothing. But if we press the enable pin, the output becomes this gray color, which is a 0, because the output is going to be whatever this input is, just like this. But only if we enabled it. If we don't, it doesn't become that. So it's almost like an AND gate, But the difference between an AND gate and this is that an AND gate will automatically output a 0 even if both the inputs are 0. This one outputs nothing. It outputs something that's neither a 0 or a 1. And this can be useful because we can hook all of these up to the same output, and the zeros won't interfere with the other outputs and create chaos within our system. And I'll show you this. I'll show you real quick what I mean. So we have a NOT gate, and then we have an AND gate. So as you can see, this one's trying to input high, and this one's trying to input 0. And the simulation gives us this weird like blinking motion because the output doesn't know whether it should be 0 or it should be 1. But we can fix this with the tri-state buffer because it outputs neither a 0 or a 1. It outputs nothing. Okay, so we've made it. The output is 0. We enable it, then it can take whatever we want from this. So this is going to be our 8 try. And now we're going to go back to our second ALU. We can use this 8 try right here as 1, 2, 3. Go to our library, get the little 1 to 8 bit so we can connect all of these up. And then we can get an 8-bit output, just like this. So now they're all going to be interconnected, which is kind of what we want. And they won't interfere with each other. There we go. So we take that, but we will need a little bit of input so we can pick and choose what we want. And we can easily do that with just some regular old inputs. Just like this. So we go here, all the way up to this tri-state buffer. And we do the same thing with the rest of these. So we can pick and choose whether we want the OR gate, the XOR gate, or any other gate to be activated at what other time. And so the method I'm using right here will work. And it is a good method, but it isn't the only method. So there are many other ways to make an ALU just like this. Like you could have the tri-state buffers connected to the inputs. I just picked the outputs because it would be a little bit less wires, I think. So I didn't want to overcomplicate it, but this might be a little worse because then the computer has to compute more raw inputs. And some of those inputs might be useless. So like, for example, every time we put a number, the computer has to compute the OR, the AND, and the XOR version of it, even though we only want one, which wouldn't be a problem in real life, but it might be a little bit of a hassle in the simulation. That's the thought process behind it, but it does work. We have this one, so we can see the AND version of it, which is nothing, the OR version, and then the XOR version, which is cool. So we're going to label these real quick. Okay. This should be good. So we're going to save this. I do kind of want a little bit of a NOT in here too, but we would only have to really inverse one of them. And of course it would be the A1. We'll figure that out later. This is what we're gonna have for right now, which is these three, because these are the main priority, I would say. And then after, maybe next video we'll do the NOT and we'll do the shift left and right, and then after that we should be good. So this might be a 3-part ALU little series because this video is already at 15 minutes and we've done something that was very basic. But then again, I didn't edit it yet, so so new chip, we're going back with this one, and then we're going back with this one, and we're going to combine these now. just like this. We will need a little tri-state action right here, just so we can get the outputs kind of correct. But it shouldn't be that bad. Okay, this. Oh, whoop. Okay, so this should be it. Okay, so this is it for our I'm gonna call it super ALU. And this is all we have right now. We will add one more layer to this in the next video, but if we can add numbers, so we can add 2 plus 2, which will give us 4. We can subtract numbers, which will give us nothing. We can AND the numbers, which will give us the output. We can OR them, and then we can XOR them. So we have all the capabilities with this. The only problem is if we XOR it, this computer thinks we're still like kind of adding it. So we have to kind of ignore what these outputs are, in which we can easily make something so they only become activated with the subtract button or the add button. We can easily do that. Do we want to? Yeah, we do. Okay, so now these will only be activated if we're adding or subtracting, and the rest will just go right through. So this is it for our ALU right here. Next episode, we are going to do shift left and right, which will easily allow us to multiply something by 2 or divide it by 2. And then we'll add our NOT gate 2. And then our ALU will be fully complete. We will have nothing else more to really do with it. And we'll go into our storage systems, which is going to be our registers. But that shouldn't be as hard since I have multiple videos about how to make different registers. But this is the new ALU right now. And all this ALU is going to do is add, subtract these 3 logic, not in shift. If we want to multiply with our code, we're just going to do repeated addition or repeated subtraction. I don't think we need a multiplication unit unless y'all really want one for some reason. But y'all can let me know in the comments below. Let me see what else we need. So yeah, this is cool. So a few things before I leave. If you want to check out my store, if you want to buy anything, link in the description. Patreon will be in the description too if you want to check that out. Patreon, you can easily contact me on. My email will also be down there too if you want to contact me. Yeah, in the store, we're about to finalize the breadboard CPU, and once that is done, all the schematics will be in my store. But that video will be coming out very shortly. Yep, that's it. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe. It's the one free thing and simple thing that you can do in order to help me out and help this channel out. And that's all I gotta say. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope y'all like this series because I'm having a lot of fun doing this. But thank you so much for watching.